I expect him to score 30 points.
My play there, I believe that Brooklyn will cover, but my play there, I was also looking at that one. I'm looking at point total. I'm looking at Brooklyn individual first half and game totals. I think they go over.
Hey, Wes, how often do you pop down to the player level on your props?
So I do that in big games, and I do it as a self-control moment, if that makes sense. I'll put a tenth of a unit on 3 or 4 different players, like in the Super Bowl. It's not an investment. It's not a paycheck. It's so that I can control myself and have absolutely no stupidity going on. I'm just looking for value even when I'm doing that, because if you find yourself disrespecting money in any way on the sports betting, it'll become second nature to do that, and down goes your bankroll. So tenth of a unit on big game moments, the national championship here in about a month, I'll probably be doing some of that stuff.
I almost never go down to that level, and the reason is, it's a lot more difficult. It's personnel, and I talk about it when I talk with my fantasy guys, that it's a whole different level, and B, then it's too specific. I mean, when I'm betting a team total over, I don't even have to worry about 2 teams. When I'm betting an over, I just have to worry about the teams. If I start betting Durant's team total over, or his player points over, or rebound, or Harden's assist, it becomes too much. It's too focused, too much work, too much stress.
Oh, wait a second. Did you not hear that Harden was traded to the 76ers?
He has been. That's why the 76ers have been cashing so well.
And I told people that was going to happen. Everybody kept telling me Harden wasn't going to be the big piece that
hold on, guys.
Meanwhile, Ben Simmons won't play for another 3 weeks, probably.
If we charged people to read the text between me, John from GMF Sports Consultants, and Black Hawk West from 151 Sports Investing, this thing would be sweet money. Oh, my God. But I'm going to try to find the text where he says, I guess Harden likes Philadelphia. That's what Wes said.
Well, he does like Philadelphia. Triple-double against the Knicks in his first home game. I expect him to play that well. And remember, it does take the ball out of Embiid's hands, so that does affect Embiid's growth, especially going into the playoffs. You want Embiid to touch the ball more. You want the ball to go through Embiid, not James Harden. But it also opens up the court, because what James Harden does so well is draw fouls. He gets to the hole. He travels a lot, but nobody sees it. Embiid, Maxey, he's a sensational player. And by the way, anybody on social media that keeps posting that Maxey's better than R.J. Barrett, are you kidding me? Come on, guys. It's ridiculous. But nevertheless, James Harden's going to be a big piece, and I think James Harden's going to be the reason why the 76ers get to the finals.
I like him. I always have.
He's not a playoff player, but he's a good player.
It's a very competitive East. It is not LeBron's East anymore.
No.
It's not LeBron's West either.
No. The Sixers, they're making out better in this move than Brooklyn is, for sure.
Absolutely.
Ben Simmons, when he's on, can be a great player, but, man, he can be so flawed at times.
Yep. And James Harden, you know what he's going to give you. If you give him the ball, he's going to give you a triple-double. He's going to dominate the game, and he's going to take the pressure off Embiid. And Embiid, even though Embiid loves it, and they were winning without Ben Simmons, to add a guy like James Harden with Maxey and some of the players that they have, and they still have Harris there, they're going to be dangerous, and they could shoot the ball. As long as Embiid stays healthy, the ability that Embiid has as a shooter on the outside for a big man, and they get into the hole and draw the fouls that he could draw, all these guys, and you stop the clock and you take points away from the other team. So as much as there's so many good teams that have shooters, I think the 76ers are even more dangerous because they can do all the good things better than everybody else in the East. So I think that if James Harden figures out how to play in the playoffs, maybe Doc Rivers can help him. I don't like Doc Rivers, so I don't know how much he's going to help him. But if he could find a way to play in the playoffs, I'm telling you, I don't think there's anybody, even the Brooklyn Nets, when healthy, I don't think they're going to beat the 76ers at full strength.
Let me ask you this. In terms of tonight, could we talk about making people money tonight? We talk about it when you listen to us on the Thursdays when we're on. You make money in that hour. But like tonight, we got 2 games, right? 10 o'clock, USC, UCLA. Well, we've been talking USC and UCLA for months now, and the Aztecs play at 10:30. And the Aztecs right now, they're not shooting the ball, but they're playing great defense. Those are 2 games, I think, Wes, that we could sweep the board on.
It's revenge between these 2 teams. No matter what happened in the last game, they hate each other. They hate each other in football. They hate each other in basketball. But going back to the last time they played, it was 3 points that separated them. 3 or 4 points that separated them. When you look at this game, I realize that UCLA is going to be looking at the game as they took us out last time. But Isaiah Mobley did not play in the first matchup, and USC found a way to win. So I don't believe in a rivalry match, 7.5 points, and a future NBA star, probably a future NBA All-Star, coming back to the lineup for this matchup. I don't believe it's smart to lay points. Take the points, take the Trojans. 7.5 points in a rivalry game? Sign me up.
My play on this game is chill out. Have a couple drinks. Watch the first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of basketball. See if you can get that under to drop down another 6, maybe 6 or 5 or 6 points, and then pounce on the over and then hit the over again at halftime. I remember going to sleep at halftime in high school betting games. I'll never forget Seattle. I'm watching Seattle. This is before I had that physical geography thing going down where I know that if it's winter here, it's winter, it's summer somewhere else. But Seattle, it's light out, right? And I'm watching the game on Monday Night Football, and it's dark in New Haven. I'm thinking, what am I missing here? That 3-hour difference is huge because this USC-UCLA game at 10 o'clock, it could make somebody's day. This is somebody who bet college basketball all day, and he lost money all day. And then Wes and I give him a winner at 10 o'clock at night. His significant other is asleep at halftime, right? Halftime is about 11:15 or so of that game. So let's talk to UCLA.
Now the real question is, either of you ever recommended Hawaii football bets or Hawaii basketball bets? Then you got 3 more hours.
They call it the DeGen Special.
No doubt about it.
The 12 o'clock East Coast game.
I will say this, for anybody that wants to bet on the Covington-Masvidal fight tonight, I would bet Covington, split decision. It'll go 5 rounds.
Odds.
Yes.
You get nice odds when you go down to calling not only the winner, but whether it was unanimous or split.
It's a split decision. Covington will win the fight. I wouldn't say unanimous because I do believe Masvidal in the first 2 rounds, I think he could win the fight. But I think as it goes further, Covington is just better with stamina, and he's just a better all-around fighter. And that's why I think Colby Covington will win the fight with a split decision.
I wrote it down. Really, handicapping is so hard. If you have any knowledge of sports, and I know Errol does because I've listened to him enough on the radio, I take your advice.
Bet Covington will win the fight. Masvidal will not win the fight. No matter what, Covington will win the fight. 110%. There's no way Masvidal wins the fight. The only way Masvidal wins the fight is if he knocks Covington in the first 2 rounds. If it goes past the 3rd round, there's no way Masvidal wins because Covington's stamina and what he could do as a wrestler, this guy is a world-class wrestler, and Masvidal isn't. He's a street fighter. Covington is a great boxer. So 5 rounds. I'm predicting split decision.
Covington is minus 325, so 325s are supposed to win.
Yes.
And I know a lot of guys that say minus 325. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Well, Wes, that's the same number you hear in soccer all the time. The bottom line is sometimes it's the easiest 325 in the history of 325.
If you want great odds, take your $2, bet a pony. Minus 275 on a money line just to pick a winner. In fighting, it's a 50-50 shot.
Right, an elbow, a knee, that's all it takes, and the fight's over.
I do not believe this is going to be a knockout fight. I think Masvidal will last. He's a tough SOB. These guys supposedly hate each other, but these guys were best friends at one point. So I think it's a great sell when it comes to the product, and that's why Dana White wanted to see this. And it's just to put fannies in the seats. But Colby Covington will win this fight, 100%. I think it won't be a knockout. It won't be a tap out. If you want to bet unanimous, bet unanimous. I think it's a split decision because Masvidal can win 2 rounds.
The over 4.5 is minus 160 versus plus 130 for the under. So they're looking, it's going to go to the judges for sure.
I absolutely is going to go to the judges.
I love overs. Anybody that knows me knows I love betting overs because I'm a dad. I like to root for all the kids. Yay, yay, yay.
Yay.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not a dad. And you two, one is going to be a dad in Wes, and the other is already a dad or is going to be a grandfather. So there you go.
Stop that. I tell my kids, I will pay for your condoms till the day you die.
Oh, Daddy Dukes. Well, Chaz and Wes, they pick winners as they always do. Cash your money. So it's Moneyline Mania every single week. Listen to us. This segment is definitely a winning segment, and Wes has really knocked it out of the ballpark. So has Chaz in the last 3 weeks.
He's pretty good at what he does.
Yes. Hector, we threw a couple of curveballs, but that's soccer. You just don't know.
But remember, if you bet a lot of money on somebody that's telling you who they like opening week of any sport, well, you know what? That's your problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Moneyline Mania every single week on the Weekend Crunch as you get the chance to hear some of the best handicappers in the country do what they do best on this show. Thank you, my friend. No, I'm sorry. I was going to sing for a second, but I see you with your dog over there, so I don't want your dog to bite my finger off.
Well, yeah, but it's, on the radio, my dog. But Wes, how many times has your dog showed up? This is the first time.
I got 2 big greyhounds. I mean, there's days where we're trying to pick the winner around the sofa table.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to put the greyhound in his hands like you have your dog.
No,
that's for sure.
This is a little
Anyways, Chaz and Wes, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate everything that you do every single week with us.
Yeah, always be cashing, guys.
Always be cashing, guys.
As everybody knows, Moneyline Mania, we do this every single week, and we're going to try to change it up. We're going to figure out ways where we're going to pick games, and we're going to make our picks, and we're going to, at the end of the week or end of each week, see who's in the lead and who is dominating these picks. And Wes is dead on with a lot of his hockey picks. There's no question that he is. And Chaz, over the last couple of weeks, has been money on everything that he has said. So all you guys out there, watch the fight tonight. I'm telling you, Covington wins the fight. I'm going to say split decision because I think Masvidal could absolutely win 2 rounds, and maybe some people might think he wins 3. So it's going to be a close fight, but I think Covington's the better fighter. So if it goes past 2 rounds, Covington wins split decision.